I'll tell you, I would actually watch the news if Ron Burgundy and his news team was actually a news reporting channel. Until that happens, I'm sticking with cartoons. And Breaking Bad. But that's not on anymore. Anchorman 2 is directed by Adam McKay, and he got Will Ferrell back in the role of Ron Burgundy, which is one of his most famous characters. In fact, it's probably my favorite film that he has made in regards to comedies. And Anchorman's a weird movie. It's one of those movies where the first time I saw it, I didn't like it, and then I saw it again later, and I actually started to really pick up on it. And in this movie, you got these characters back, except Ron Burgundy, once again, is in some sort of an argument with a news team network filled with people in which he creates various problems because he's an idiot. In this one, him and Veronica Corningstone, played by Christina Applegate, have a kid now. That's creating some drama for him. And when I say drama, I mean it's like Ron Burgundy drama where it's all just a giant joke. There's this new hotshot at the news network played by James Marsden who's getting under his skin. Meagan Good is his new boss, not a hard woman to look at. There really is no point summing up much of a plot in this movie because what it really is just a whole bunch of jokes from scene to scene to scene that are supposed to make you laugh. That's what comedy is, essentially, I guess. But this movie really is strictly that. It's sort of like a whole bunch of skits set up kind of around a general plot. Now, I really enjoyed the first Anchorman, as I said, and this film is still really funny as well. It's not quite as good as the first one, but I did find myself laughing from scene to scene mostly consistently. That's because these guys are idiots. The entire comedy around this movie is centered around idiocy. Ron Burgundy's dumb. All of his newscast buddies are dumb. Everyone in this movie's pretty dumb, and they all embrace that spirit. And that's why some of the comedy works, because they recognize that this isn't supposed to be some Oscar-winning formula in which they make a comedy that will stand the test of time. This is going to be one of the movies that people make internet memes out of, and that's where this movie exists, and they get that. Also, there is a great improvisational spirit around all these guys where you can just tell that they did scene to scene differently, and they did different jokes here and there, and things worked and some things stuck and some things didn't. They used the best of what they had. There are actually scenes where they're just like trying not to crack up, and you can kind of tell sometimes, especially with Steve Carell, because this guy steals the show in every scene. I love his character Brick. He was my favorite thing about the first Anchorman, and he kills it here. He's even funnier in this movie than he was in the first one. He gets more screen time, he gets more jokes, he gets the best jokes in my opinion, and I'll tell you why that is. I think that is because this entire movie, as I said, is going for really stupid, silly comedy. So it makes sense that the stupidest character in the movie would also be the funniest because he is the one who embraces the essence of this movie the most. He's just such an imbecile that you can't help but laugh at him, and he really does honestly have all the best lines in the movie. There is a moment in the movie that drags a little bit where something happens to Ron that I won't spoil, and I felt like it really detoured the entire movie, and there were barely any laughs for a while, which leads me to my biggest problem with this movie, and that is the length. This movie's like 2 hours long. The first one was like 94 minutes or something like that. That's the perfect length for this type of movie. This movie went on probably 20 minutes longer than it needed to be, and it kind of deflated after a while, and it stopped being as funny. It didn't need to be that long. I will say though that a scene with a whole bunch of celebrity cameos, which I will not spoil, was actually pretty freaking hilarious. That really saved a little bit of that last part of the movie, but it could have been a lot shorter. Is it as good as the first one? Probably not, but it's still pretty funny, and I'm going to give Anchorman 2 a B. So guys, if you are a fan of the first Anchorman, I'm curious what your favorite quote of the movie is. The one that I probably use the most is more than likely Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works. Every time. As always, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.